I want to show you my newest setup for my videos in case it gives you ideas for yours. And so far I filmed one video in here and it didn't go 100% smoothly, so I'm also going to show you what I've had to fix up. And by the way, I used to record my videos in a spare office at my husband's company, and it was only 10 minutes away from our home, but now this opened up in our home, which is 0 minutes from our home. And I'm like super excited. It used to be our son Seth's room, and he moved down to his new apartment. He is a really sweet kid, and I cried when he left, and I got first dibs on his room before anyone else could. Okay, so let's go in. Okay, so we're gonna start with the lighting. And this took me about an hour to figure out because this is the lighting the room came with, and it is not really good for videos. It casts dark shadows, and I'm already in my 50s and my face cannot handle any more adversity. So I needed to fix things up. So let me show you what I did. First, I turn off the lights. Ooh, spooky. Then I turn on this cheapy light that I got from Walmart many years ago. I don't know what it is. Okay, turn on this LED light. And then I turn on this ring light. And then I turn on this box light and it has a remote. Ooh. And then the first video I did in here, I don't think I had the lights on at their fullest setting, so everything came out a little grainy and just not as crisp. So I'm fixing that for this video, and I'm sure I'll continue to improve it. Anyway, user error. And actually, one other thing about lighting, what would take my lighting to a whole nother level is if I had a hair light. So a hair light goes above you and slightly behind you, and it creates more visual depth between you and the wall. So if at some point you watch one of my videos and it looks like I have this amazing glow behind me, and it looks like the wall is farther behind me than it is right now, it's because I have a hair light. And on that note, before I go through more of my video stuff, I should tell you that I've been getting my equipment in bits and pieces over the last couple of years that I've been making videos actively. I didn't get everything at once. The two newest additions are the big box light and the blue LED light right there. And I'm doing this all incrementally for two reasons. The first one is just from a budget standpoint. The more my channel makes, the more money I can put into it. But actually the bigger reason has to do with just bandwidth. If I got all my equipment at once and had to put my life on hold while I figured out how to set it up correctly and use it correctly, while at the same time learning just how to make better content, none of it would get done because it would be all just too overwhelming. I do better when I do things in manageable bits. So if you're looking to get more into video for YouTube or your social media or anything, don't feel pressured to buy and install and learn how to use everything at one time. Just spread it out. And in the description of this video, I have links to a lot of the things that I'm using right here that I'm showing you. So check it out if you think it'll help you. So let's talk about sound and the soundproofing panels. This room echoed a lot, way more than I ever thought it did until Seth moved out. So my husband Steven and I installed a ton of soundproof panels, and actually only about like half the panels were up when I shot that first video in here because I didn't want to delay the video anymore. And guess what? There was a lot of echo. I tried to do sound correction in my editing software. It didn't go very well. So the sound is not the greatest in the last video I did, but it should be better now that the panels are up, and well, I'll know when I start editing this video. And as far as where to place the panels, I just tried to think, if I'm sitting here, where does the sound go? So the panels are placed more out this way and not behind me so much. I think that was the right thing to do. Anyway, I did my best. I also put blankets over the doors, which doesn't look great, but it does help more with soundproofing. I also put a tablecloth on the table, and that's also for soundproofing. In my last video, I think some of the echoing was coming from sound bouncing off the wooden table, so I'm hoping this helps. When I Googled soundproofing, that was one of the suggestions. Okay, so now let me tell you about the sound equipment. And for nearly all my previous videos, I had an external mic, which was on a stand, and it was hooked up and tethered to my iPhone. And this is not my iPhone. My iPhone is right there filming right now because that's what I use for my camera. But I just wanted to show you this as an example of what we're talking about. Anyway, I really, really like this mic. I thought it had very good sound, but the only problem was that I couldn't stray too far from the phone. And here's why this was bothering me so much. What I've learned in my YouTube courses is that if you're showing your face in video, try whenever possible to show more than just your face, but also your hands, because somehow from a psychology 101 standpoint, it helps establish more trust. And in my previous videos, I was already gesticulating a lot, but you just weren't seeing it because the camera had to be so close to me. So now I'm using a lavalier, which works with my iPhone. And in my last video, I used this, and I was able to show more of my natural body language, so that was great. However, this lavalier picks up every sound, and because in the last video I didn't do as much soundproofing as I could have, it picked up a lot of the echo, which ended up in a sound correction debacle. But it should be better now, and I'll find out for sure once I start editing this video. And if any of you watching are sound engineers and you think I could be doing anything better, please put in the comments, because I can learn from it and we can all learn from that. Anyway, my new studio here and my new equipment, they're just one part of my YouTube journey. What's an even bigger part of the journey is actually the mental health aspect, because a lot of YouTube creators put pressure on themselves to be successful on YouTube. And that's something that I've struggled with too. So if you want to see how I'm working through that, check out this video in the top right corner. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.